Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I have to let you know this is actually pre recorded for my Mindset Monday this morning. I'm not live, as you can probably tell by the shadows in my office that aren't usually here during Mindset Monday. I actually couldn't sit in my chair like I normally do. I actually had to stand because the sun was like right on me. You can see my chair right behind me. But by the time you guys are watching this, I will be done with the Bounce Conference and I will actually be in New York with my son. So I am pre-recording this so that I can still bring you a Mindset Monday, but I will actually be spending some family time with my son. So I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you are looking forward to the week ahead. There is so much to be looking forward to. For those who are new to me, my name is Evelyn Knight. I am the owner and founder of Child Care Business Professionals and the host of the Child Care Business Coach podcast. I'm also a child care center owner as well. So I know what it's like to actually own and operate a child care center. And I'm on a mission. My mission is to change 1 million children's lives. And I am going to do that by helping you, childcare leaders, whether you're a director and owner. If I can help you learn how to run a profitable center that puts the children's first, I will be able to help 1 million children. So thank you for giving me that time to do that, for helping me by watching this video. You're actually helping me fulfill my mission, what God put me here for. So let's talk today about an issue that I get messaged a lot about. I get a lot of messages sent to me regarding the same issue. And even though situations might be this different here and there, it's basically the same issue. And what it is staff that bullies their leadership. They blatantly just don't do what they're supposed to do. They're calling in all the time. They don't clean their classrooms the way that you want them to. They don't do the curriculum the way you want them to. And they always have some kind of an excuse. They always have a reason why they can't do it, or why they regress to old behaviors, or why your way isn't the right way. Especially when you have staff members that have educations that are outdated. What we often see happening is these staff members are pretty stuck in their outdated education. And they don't realize that through neuroscience and research, things have changed. And we no longer do crafts. We now know that crafts are not developmentally appropriate, right? What they call arts are really crafts. If you take a paper plate and put pieces together and basically show a child a artwork that is complete and expect them to mimic it, that isn't art, that's a craft. And they're not learning anything from it, right? But people with outdated educations don't understand this. So they resist change, and they will oftentimes just defy policy and procedure if you have a policy or your opinion, and base it on, oh, well, I forgot, or I've always done it this way. We've always done it this way, especially if you're a new director trying to take over a center that from a previous director. You might get a lot of pushback from the staff that, well, that's not how we do it here. And basically, when it comes down to it, you just kind of want to say, well, that may not be how you did it here, but now you're going to do it my way. And that poses some complications for your staff, right? There comes a time where you actually have to stand up to your staff. And that can be very, very hard on you. It can be mentally challenging, and it can make you feel like you're mean or you're being a bossy bully or whatever, right? All the things. But in reality, it has to be done. And human nature is primarily human nature. So the best way I can describe this to you is, think of a 2-year-old when they come, a lot of 2-year-olds, not all of them, but when they come into a situation, they're going to test the adults around them, especially if you have a 14-year-old, 16-year-old, same thing, right? They're going to test you. They're going to see how far they can push you. They're going to see what they can do to really get you to do what they want, right? And this happens, I'm sure, all the time, especially if you're in like a middle school or high school teacher. Every year, the kids are going to see, well, how far can I push this teacher? And you have to really draw that line in the sand and create healthy boundaries. You have to, because if you don't, your staff will run the center. What I often see is when a leader is afraid to create these boundaries, or if they haven't intentionally created the culture within their center, or if they haven't intentionally created their center's brand, what ends up happening is exactly what I'm talking about. The teachers in your center that are more like the bullies, they have, and they absolutely will create your center's brand and the culture. They will hijack it so fast, it's not even funny. And now you're going to see a culture of kind of unhappy staff members. You're going to have a culture where your staff is really going to be dissatisfied, especially your good staff members. The negative staff members will love it. Although these are the people who will never be happy. They will never be happy. And they actually like to cause contention and tension within your center, right? So your other staff members, the ones who are doing a good job, are going to hate it because they're going to have an attitude of, why should I? Why should I follow the rules? Why should I be a good employee? Why should I do this, this, and this when nobody else has to? So then these staff members that you once held in high esteem, that you were once maybe thinking, well, this is the person who is my right hand, I lean on them. Well, over the years, that's going to wear them down. And not only years, but months. You might hire somebody who's stellar, but when they see this behavior, they're going to start getting worn down to the point that they're going to have an attitude of, I don't care if everybody else gets away with it. Why should I bother? Right. And so you're going to ruin your good staff members, and you're basically going to allow these toxic staff members to call the shots. They're going to run your program if you don't have clear boundaries. So I can't even stress to you the importance. If you are exhausted going into your center every day because your staff just runs you, they're just running you. It's constantly an argument, or this staff member is angry about this, and this one doesn't like their lunch break, and this one doesn't like the schedule, and they're calling in all the time, or they're telling you, hey, I'm off next week. I need Tuesday off. If that's the kind of culture that you have allowed, and I really want you to notice that word, you have allowed, because you've got to take accountability on this one if it's going to change. If you've allowed this culture within your center, then you've got to take control, because I can guarantee you your good employees are becoming disgruntled and you are at risk of losing them, or you're ruining them. So what do? You really establish healthy boundaries in order to get control back. But how do you do that? What you need are clear and concise, documented policies and procedures. This can't be something in your head that you just, well, I talked to them about that and they're just not changing. Talking, right? It just isn't. I mean, even your children, if you've ever had a struggle with getting your children to do the dishes, I mean, we all have gone through this. If you're a parent, you've gone through this, where it's just like, it's not my night to clean the bathroom. I did it last night. It's his night, right? What do we do in situations like that? As parents, I know for me, I create a calendar and it said on the calendar whose night was what, right? So then there was no argument. There was no argument. All I had to say was, go look on the calendar. Go look on the calendar. And then it trains my children even to know that I am not going to open myself up to arguments, right? It's the same thing with your staff. Same exact thing. When you have documented policies and procedures that you stick to, now that's the key. You have to stick to them and you have to enforce them. Then whenever these things arise, you just bring those policies and procedures out and you just say, hey, you know what? During nap time, you're not allowed on your cell phone. You're supposed to be writing curriculum, preparing for tomorrow, or deep cleaning the centers. So what are you doing on your cell phone? And a lot of times they're going to shoot back, well, I didn't know. Well, if you have it documented, then now you have something you can say, yes, you did know, because on this date, look, you signed. For me in my center, I have documented processes for everything. And a couple weeks ago, my staff and I had what's called a beach ball meeting. And what a beach ball meeting is, and I'm going to do a training coming up for my entire staff on this meeting style, basic, or for my members. I'm sorry, it's actually going to be for my management team as well. But also, if you're a member in Child Care Business Professionals program, I'm going to do an entire training on how to conduct a beach ball meeting. But the point of a beach ball meeting is two things. First of all, everybody is going to have a moment to speak. Everybody, right? So it's like passing the beach ball. Second thing, and what was really eye-opening for me, was everybody sees things in your organization differently, right? Just like a beach ball has many different colors, your organization has many different colors, it has many different feelings, it has many different opinions, right? I might see it as all white, but employee number one might see it as blue. Employee number two might see it as all green, while employee number three sees it as all red. When in reality, it's all of it. It's all the feelings. It's all the things that we see and feel, right? So using the term the beach ball, it's just an analogy. But basically, a beach ball meeting is, first of all, passing the beach ball to each person so everybody has an opportunity to speak uninterrupted and unjudged, right? Without judgment, without interruption, without you putting in your opinion to silence them, without you not wanting to hear, right? That's something that's really important, is we also need to hear. Second thing it does is it helps you to see your program the way everybody sees it, not just the ones who are the squeaky wheels, right? But the way everybody sees it, not just the way you see it, so that everybody is heard. Well, during our beach ball meeting a couple weeks ago, I'm actually got my board right here. I found I don't have a policy for everything. If you guys know me, I have a policy. Like every time anything arises, like, okay, we got to create a policy for it, don't we? So as we had our beach ball meeting with my management team the other day and we went through, I listened to them and I take notes profusely the whole time, right? I just want to listen. And when I came down to the bottom of it, I realized there was a missing piece. There was a missing piece that was causing a major problem within my program. Like the entire reason we needed to have a beach ball meeting came down to one thing. And it was because I didn't have a policy and procedure for it. And so I had to create a new policy. So it's something that's never ending, right? But, and I can tell you, as an owner of 15 years and a director for years and years and years, basically, I've created all my policies over time in order to overcome situations, right? And I've also used all my policies and documentation in order to duplicate myself. So right now I have I have three leaders in training to become my next directors. Well, I am training them right now, right? I'm teaching them how to do what I want them to do, but I have it documented so that I am able to duplicate myself. That way I can own multiple centers. That way I can own this company that I'm bringing you this video on. I can do all this and still be a childcare center owner because I've taken the time to duplicate me. If this is something you would like help with, this is what we do in childcare business professionals. I actually have pre-recorded trainings and live trainings every week that you can join so that you can learn how to duplicate yourself. And I give you my policies and procedures, all of the ones I've created, and you can take them and make them your own. So you have all of what you need. You just need to go and revise them, tweak it here and there so it fits your culture, your brand, and so that my culture doesn't become your culture, right? The other thing I do is every new hire has to go through the training. Every new hire, right? My policies and procedures are actually turned into a 30-day onboarding process for every single new hire. So I know I can write policies and procedures until I'm blue, but nobody's going to read them. No one is going to take the time to read them. So what I've done is I've taken that a step further and I've created an onboarding or a new hire training manual that goes with it. Every single day, there is a worksheet and something that each new hire does that's an on-the-job training, and they have to fill it out every single day. So they're on the job and they're training, but I'm still leading the training, right? Because I've created daily guides that guide them through exactly what I want them to know. And right now, I literally have 30 days worth of this. So, and it gets longer and longer and longer. But my entire onboarding process is actually 6 months long. So the first 30 days is very intense. It's every day for 30 days. But I know that it's not enough to just onboard somebody into your program over a 1 month period. It takes more time than that. And if I want to have stellar employees that I don't have to babysit and hold their hand, and I know that my vision is always coming to life, that my brand is always reflected, then I have to make sure I'm really training them well, which is why my onboarding process is 6 months. That is also something that we provide if you become a member of Child Care Business Professionals. So my team is on here now. If that is something you guys would like more information about, please let us know in the comments or message one of my members of the team. So if you guys would let them know in the comments right now who you are, so if anyone is interested, they can get a hold of you. Even if you're watching the replay, message one of my team members. They'd be more than happy to help you, because I can tell you right now that these tools are game changers. They are literally the tools that will help you get your life back. If you feel like your staff is running you, if you feel like you just are married to your childcare center, you're always there, you can never seem to get away, right? Because if you leave, everything falls apart. That is a leadership issue. I really want you to hear me. That is a leadership issue. That is not your staff. That is not your staff. I was once upon a time an owner who thought that I had a horrible staff. I thought that I just wanted to fire them all. I literally walked into my building one day and thought, they all need to go. I am so tired of dealing with these women. I want them all gone. Over the course of that year, we actually lost 3 children. We had 3 children die in a short period of time. And it was just fluke, not at my center, just children. One of them wasn't even enrolled anymore. She actually was my first baby I ever cared for. And she got a very rare form of cancer that ended up overcoming her life. One of them, one of them also wasn't still, she had graduated to be on my center. She was older. I think she was in like middle school, and she had a disease that they didn't even know she had and died. It was just the craziest thing. And then we did have one child that was enrolled in our center who passed away also from a disease. And then we had a baby that almost died in our care while he was with us. It was just, he had an undiagnosed disease as well. It was the craziest year. These fluke, horrible situations were on us, and it was so heavy. So I did this staff meeting, and I basically knew that my employees' morale was just in the tank. After losing, when you lose like this, it is so hard to bounce back. And not only did we lose the one, but we had so much loss that year. And we were in a collective pain. We were all mourning together. A lot of my staff has been with me for years. So like the little girl who passed away, she was my baby when I was in an in-home, right? And then when I opened my first center, she transitioned into the center, and she was with us for 9 years. So for many of my staff, that was just devastating. I mean, they're all devastating, but literally when you start with them from infancy on, it was just all of the situations we were in were just devastating. So I did a staff meeting to try and just boost their morale. And it was the first staff meeting, which I've done this every year since, but I asked my staff to show me what their vision is. What is their vision for ECE? What is their vision for their classrooms? And the visions that they had were brilliant. They were brilliant. And I realized that day during that staff meeting that I was the problem with my leadership, not them. I had already been on a journey to change myself as a leader for many other reasons. But I think that moment was my pivotal, I can't talk now. It was that pivotal moment that I needed to understand that I had been wrong, basically, that I had been judging them, thinking they all needed to leave when it was me. These were brilliant women. And by the way, most of them still work for me. Those women, that was like 8 years ago, that I thought they all need to go. I need to fire them. Right? Are the same team I have today. Once I got my policies, my procedures in line, I showed up as the leader that they deserved. Once I started being the leader that they deserve, everything changed. Everything changed, right? And that is absolutely also something we can help you with child childcare business professionals, but I really, that's why I do this, because I know once I had a failing center. I know the pain of having a failing center. I was there once upon a time. I was heartbroken. I hated my center once upon a time because I didn't know. I was married. I was there 12-hour days. I couldn't get away. I felt like my staff was incompetent. My parents weren't paying, and I blamed the world. Once I realized it was me and stepped up and became a real leader, everything changed. And now I'm teaching you so I can help you avoid a lot of that pain, because it is painful. I know, you guys, I feel it too. It is very, very painful. And I don't want you to go through that pain either, which is why I started Childcare Business Professionals. Financially, it's exhausting. It's like literally having a bucket with money just flowing out of it, right? And once you learn, like you just don't know what you don't know, right? Until someone teaches you. Now, gosh, if I would have known 15 years ago what I know today, could have saved myself probably $500,000 and a lot of tears. And that's why I teach you. If you're looking to like transition from an in-home to a childcare center, or if you just want to open, we also have a new program, which is our Building Blocks program, to help with that. Because my goal is really exactly what I'm talking about. I want to free people. I really want to free people from that misery that I once felt, or avoid it from ever happening, because it doesn't have to be that way. So I hope this was helpful. I really hope you guys learn to just really set clear boundaries, stick to your policies, and enforce them. Do not let your staff hold you hostage. I know it's scary. I'm going to try and get out of the sun really quick. There, is that better? No, then it's just, I'm almost done. So I know it's scary. You guys are all so scared of hiring right now. But first of all, you don't need to be. Secondly, I can guarantee you that you are better off short-staffed than you are having toxic staff running your center, because that is exactly what's happening. If what I described earlier is what you're going through, then you have toxic staff members who are running your center. You are not running them. They are running you. So again, if you need help with this, reach out to my team. We'd be more than happy to help you. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next week for our next Mindset Monday, unless you're one of my members. If you're my member, then I will see you during office hours and during